double-sided moon.
Revelation 2:14. Now we're going to find out what we're talking about, what this day means. But I hold a few matters against you because you have there, who's he talking to? This is Yeshua talking to the houses, the seven houses of, or seven churches of Revelation. These are the churches at the end time. Because you have there those who adhere to the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat food offered to idols and to commit whoring. Unbeknownst to me, this is all I was going to be talking about all week long. I had no idea. But that's what's turned out to be. And it turns out to be so big and so unbelievable that this is the only thing that we can talk about now. The doctrine of Balaam is something we cannot afford to in the least be any ignorant of it. That didn't make any sense. In the least to be ignorant of or perishing for a lack of knowledge regarding, especially, see, I was so tired this morning when I put this together. We need to be aware of what the curse of Balaam means. We need to know what it is. We need to understand it. This is what I talk to the bishops about, this is what I talk to the generals about, and this is what I talk to the Congress about. Numbers 22 to 25, and Numbers 31, 1 to 16. That's where the story of Balaam is found. We're not going to read it all, but you can go home and do that. That's your another assignment. Read the story, because the curse of Balaam, the thing we're talking about, isn't there. How do you figure it out? And that's what we're about to do. How do we figure it out? What is this thing that Balaam did? In order to better understand, one must start with the rape of Dinah. Dinah is the daughter of Jacob. And we're going to compare the rape of Dinah to the rape of Tamar, the daughter of King David. What has Dinah and Tamar got to do with Balaam and the Day of Atonement? Nobody? Good. You're going to learn something new today. Because if you had the answer, maybe I'm just flogging a dead horse here. The unifying word that's connecting these two rapes is the word afflict. That word is Hebrew word 6031. 6031. We're going to be going to that word quite a bit. Genesis 34, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and humbled her. There is so much information in that one verse. You're about to learn how I read the Bible, how I study. I ask why on everything I read. You're going to see, we're going to go through this, you're going to see how I study. This is going to take a little bit. That's okay. Ike said I had until tomorrow morning. Genesis 34, verse 3. And his soul clung to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the girl and spoke to the heart of the girl. And Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, get me this girl for a wife. He's already raped her. Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. And his sons were with the cattle in the field. And Jacob kept silent until they had come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard. And the men were furious, rightfully so. And they were very angry because he had done folly in Israel, in lying with the daughter of Jacob, and it ought not to be done so. Now we're going to compare this rape to that of Tamar. There's key verses here. Tamar is in 2 Samuel 13, verse 1. And it happened after this, Absalom, the son of David, had a beautiful sister whose name was Tamar. And Ammon, the son of David, loved her. And Ammon was so troubled that he fell sick for his sister Tamar. This is called lusting, big time. For she was a virgin, and Ammon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. And Ammon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of David's brother, Shimea. And Jonadab was a very crafty man. And he said to him, "Why are you, the king's son, lean from day to day? Will you not tell me?" And Ammon said to him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." So Jonadab said to him, "Lay down on your bed and make yourself sick. And when your father comes to see you, say to him, 'Please let my sister Tamar come and give me food, and prepare the food in my sight so that I may see and eat it at her hand.'" And Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king had come to see him, Amnon said to the king, "Please let my sister Tamar come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight so that I may eat at her hand." And David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go now to your brother Amnon's house and prepare food for him." And Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he had lain down, and she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight and baked the cakes. Listen carefully to the words that are about to be spoken. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, "Make every man go out from me." And every man went out from him. And Amnon said to Tamar, "Bring the food into the room so that I may eat out of your hand." And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them into the room to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them into him, he took hold of her and said to her, "Come, lie with me, my sister." And she answered him, "No, my brother, do not humble me, do not rape me. For no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not do this thing, do not do this folly. And I, where shall I cause my shame to go? And as for you, you shall be as one of the fools in Israel. But now please speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you." So it's now too late. But he would not listen to her voice, but being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her. Oh, here's a twist. We're being revealed more information. Amnon hated her with a great hatred, and the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. And Amnon said to her, "Get up and go." Shechem loved Dinah. Amnon hated Tamar. You're being revealed more information. And she said to him, "There is no cause. This evil is sending me away is greater than the other that you did to me." But he would not listen to her. And he called his servant who waited on him and said, "And put this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her." And she had a robe of many colors. Where does that come from? Upon her, for the king's virgin daughters were clothed with such robes. And his servants brought her out and bolted the door after her. And Tamar went out, put ashes on her head, and tore the robe of many colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. And Absalom her brother said to her, "Has Amnon your brother been with you? But now hold your peace, my sister, he is your brother. Do not set your heart on this thing." And Tamar remained desolate in the house of her brother Absalom. Absalom would take vengeance for her. What are the similarities here, besides the rape? There's so much here. Let's now drill down and look at this closer. Genesis 34:2. When we examine this word, he humbled her, it's violated her. This word is number 6031. Here's the meaning of this word that is translated humbled or violated or afflicted. A primitive root, possibly rather identical with 6030, through the idea of looking down or browbeating, to depress literally or figuratively, transitively or intransitively in various applications. Sing is by mistake, 6:30, abase, affliction, there's the word. Answer mistake, chasten self, deal hardly, defile, exercise force, gentleness, humble, hurt, ravish. This is rape. So now we're going to see there's another word mentioned, 6030. So now we got to go look at it. A primitive root, property to eye. There's the evil eye. That's what we call Googling in North America. I don't know what you call it here, where a guy just sees a girl and he follows her all the way down the street and he's undressing her with his eyes. It's called girl watching. It's called lust. Properly to eye or to heed, to pay attention by implication. Now just let me stop right here right now. Women were made to attract men, and men were made to be attracted to women through their eye. God made you that way. That's not wrong. There are some beautiful women. All of you are beautiful women in this room before I get in trouble. There's nothing wrong with looking at beautiful people, men or women. The problem is when you lust after them and you follow them all the way home with your eye. It's like looking at a beautiful flower. Isn't that a nice flower? You smell it, put it back, and go down. There's another one, right? I just wanted to state that before you think I'm really going crazy here. So in this list of words is the word afflict. Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Day of Atonement and afflicting our soul. Now he's talking about raping and affliction and rape. What's he talking about? Genesis 34:7 compared to 2 Samuel 13:12. Such a thing is not done in Israel, for no such thing should be done in Israel. These are the two of the primary connections to these two stories. Shechem lusted after Dinah and forced himself upon her in very much the same way Amnon lusted after Tamar and forced himself upon her. In the story of Shechem, you were told that Hamor, the Hivite, is Shechem's father, and because Shechem is a prince, it means that Hamor is the king of the land. More clues. Drill down, look at every word, every letter. Hamor proceeds to do all the talking on behalf of Shechem. Why? Oh yeah, because he's a king. It's more than that. More than that. In 2 Samuel, you're told about you're told that the one advising Amnon was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother. Jonadab means Jehovah spontaneously. Nadab is spontaneously. Jonadab is going to voluntarily offer free advice to Amnon without giving any thought or care what he is saying or the consequences of it. We are also told that Jonadab is a very crafty man. Oh, I see the eyebrows going up. Some of you are starting to clue in. You get it. You're good. But Amnon had a friend. Now, let's look at the word here. 24:22. Why am I looking at that word? Is that the word crafty? This is when Ike was talking to me this morning. That's what happened. Joe, what do you think of this? I don't know. I'm trying to do my notes. Leave me alone. There it is. It's the next slide. Okay. So here's the word crafty. The crafty word is 24:49, means wise. That is intelligent, skillful, artful, cunning, subtle, wise man. Okay? Well, that's where we get it from 24:49. That's the next one I'm doing. I know where I was just mixed up here. So this is the other word here. To be wise. Exceeding, teach wisdom. Deal wisely, be wiser. So the word that we're looking at here is subtle. Crafty, subtle. Ring a bell? Yeah. Genesis 3 verse 1. Yes. The word cunning is crafty or subtle. Cunning. So it takes you right back to the Garden of Eden. What does that tell you now? By what spirit was Jonadab being influenced? Satan. By what spirit was Shechem being influenced? Balaam used divination in order to prophesy, which means he used Satan as his undisclosed source. We're told that in Joshua 13:22. Balaam was hired by Balak, which means devastator, to come and curse Israel. Jehovah prevented Balaam from cursing Israel and only allowed him to bless Israel each time. But Balaam did volunteer some advice. Volunteered some advice. Oh. To Balak, and this is what we are now being shown here in these two different examples. The advice is coming from Satan. Examining the meaning of the name of Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, who was an Amorite, brings us new information to bear in mind to this. Hivi is an Aramaic word meaning serpentine. It describes the character of both Shechem and his father, Hamor. Both of them acted in a serpentine-like and treacherous manner. Ecclesiastes 10:8. He who digs a pit falls into it, and whoever breaks through a wall is bitten by a snake. Okay, why have I got that there? Because of Genesis 34:1. This is what Dinah did. Dinah, by leaving the safe confines of her hedge or encampment, that's the house of Jacob, so that she might see the daughters of the land, after which a serpent found her. That serpent was Shechem. Do you see how drilling down on these words tells you deeper meanings? And that connects other things together. And then all of a sudden, and that's all I ever do is I connect dots. That's why I talk about Sabbath and Jubilee years. I just connect the dots. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about the Day of Atonement today. And then we're going to talk about the Sabbath and Jubilee years after that. And Ike wants you to tell me a joke, but I can't remember, so I'll let him do it. 10, 2, hearts. What? I'm no good at charades. And when Shechem, they're teasing me because they both made me rehearse this joke. And when Shechem, so here's what, when you isolate the words, here's what these different words are. We're going to look at the word 2544. Are we? Hammer means the same as 2543. Oh, that's okay. So here's, when you get the words, find out what they mean in Hebrew. Hamor means 2554, kamor. It's the same as 2543, which is an ass. Oh. Connecting that to Balaam yet? Hamor, 2543, kamor, a male ass, or a he ass, from its dun red. This is a red male ass. Why red? Ask yourself why. A primitive root property to boil up. Hence, to ferment with scum and to glow with redness. Did I turn red? Did that work? Or just, no, it didn't work? Okay. I won't do that again. To smear with pitch, to daub, to foul, to be red, to trouble. That's what Kamor means. Did we lose the mic? We lost the mic?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. We lost the mic. So 2560 is slime. Hamor was an ass, and based on the description above, would turn red whenever his temper boiled up or flared. He could also be described as scum or slime. Fitting for someone who just raped somebody. Okay? Look at these words. Go deeper. Genesis 34:13. There's more information to be gleaned from reading the rest of the story here in Genesis, so we're going to do that. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, speaking with deceit, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they said to them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for it is a reproach to us. But in this we will agree with you, if you will be as we are, that every male of you be circumcised. Then We will give our daughter to you, and we will take your daughters to us. Listen to what's being said here. And we'll live with you, and you will become one people. But if you will not listen to us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter and we will go. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. Are you listening? And the young man did not hesitate. Please, Daddy, please, Daddy, please, Daddy, let's do this, let's do this. I want her, I want her, I want her. Not hesitate to do the thing because he had delight in Jacob's daughter. And he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Hang on, hold on, stop. Shechem is more honorable than all the other men in this village. And he just raped Dinah. What kind of honor is that? There's no honor there. Read carefully what you see. And Hamor and Shechem his son came to the gate of their city and talked with the men of their city, saying, these men are at peace with us. Therefore let them live in the land and trade in it. For behold, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them for daughters. Who's speaking here? Who's Hamor? Satan. Satan, the serpent. Right? Listen. Who's speaking? Now listen. Only on this condition will the men agree to us, to live with us, to be one people, if every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised. Again, what are we talking about? Afflicting your soul. What does that mean? Again, why? What's he doing? I'm so hungry and thirsty, I don't care. Shall not their country, listen carefully, verse 23, underline this verse. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every animal of theirs be ours? Only let us agree with them, and they will live with us. And all that went out from the gate of his city listened to Hamor and to Shechem his son. And every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of the city. What is the ulterior motive here? It's not Dinah. It's now to rape Jacob. All of Israel. You can move to the front of the class. Yes. What are we talking about? We're not talking about Dinah. We're not talking about Jacob. We're not talking about Tamar. We're not talking about Shechem or Havor or anyone else.
Sighted Moon.